Dr. Sujata, it's so great to have you here on LeaderPass podcast. Thank you for coming in. I'm excited to get to know you and the world to hear who you are and what you do and who you serve. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
It's an honor and privilege for me to be here today.
Good. Well, I want to talk about what you do. And I know that one of your credentials is a work-life success guru. So let's start with that. Tell me what that is.
Yes, thank you. That is my tag that I have on LinkedIn, and I put it in my books, and this is how I introduce myself on stage. I am the work-life success guru.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is great.
And credentially and professionally, I am an employment psychologist, career developer. So all of the workplace issues like retention, change management, leadership issues, manager-employee issues, training, life skills, things like that. I try to tackle those for individuals, for groups, and for systems.
That's all. Well, big needs. Those are huge needs and very relevant right now. How did you, if you don't mind me asking you, how did you get into that?
Oh, that's such a great question. So, when we came here from India, I was, I'm just going to round it off, about 10 years old when we came here. And for immigrants, it's a tough road, So my father had 3 jobs, my mother had 3 jobs, and eventually I had 2 jobs. And so work was a value of my parents, as education was. And so my father used to say, work hard and give back to the United States for what the United States has done for us. But one of the reasons I think why he brought us here was more opportunities for me, because I have a condition where my vocal cords don't close. And so I have this little jiggle in the voice. But I decided and did the good work, through my coursework and everything too, the shadow work they call it, that if my voice wiggled and jiggled, that I should just get up on stage and make people giggle. So,
I love it.
Yeah, but I did spend a couple of decades just hiding and fear of judgment and all of those things that my clients come to me for.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And so, I've done the work, and and I want to help others to be inspired and empowered and use their passion.
So you have also won some awards. Let's talk about those.
Okay, yeah. So the entities, the professional associations that I belong to in my niche are the NCDA, the National Career Development Association, Asia Pacific Career Development Association, and the Maryland Counseling Association. And from there, NCDA awarded me as their Diversity Initiatives Award. And I was so proud of that because I brought the concept of interculturalism to that association.
Wow.
And especially since here in the West, in the Western Hemisphere, diversity inclusion has been eradicated. So, we can't really say those words anymore. The DEI movement is no longer there. So I really felt strongly that even though the language was taken away, the values of the people remain.
That's right. Yeah.
And so how do we continue and to engage, to collaborate, to support in member engagement, through these values? And through my research and through my own beliefs and values, I felt that interculturalism is really the wave of the future now. And the reason why is because interculturalism doesn't single out any specific group. Interculturalism is about communication through stories.
Okay.
So isn't that wonderful? So,
cool.
and we do, this is the United States of America. There is a support system for anybody, for everybody.
Yeah.
If you're left-handed and blue-eyed, there is a group, a support group
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of this country. So interculturalism is not that, but it's rather whomever that you meet, whatever story that they tell you is what's important to them. And so in interculturalism, you listen to that story and then you take it from there.
I love that. That is great. Okay, so we are meeting at the National Speakers Association right now.
Yes.
And I want to hear about that and how that connects, but you're also a best-selling author. So
Yeah.
let's talk about those two things for people that don't know that.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's so exciting to be here at NSA. It took me 3 years to make the decision to join this National Speakers Association because everybody is so perfect. They get on the stage and they can speak perfectly. And here, I can't speak perfectly. But it took me 3 years to, again, get that courage up and just remind myself, hey, remember, you want to empower people. You want to inspire people. So you've got to take the next chapter. This is my next chapter, is to get up there on that stage. And one of my fortes through being a counselor and being an author is brain fitness.
Okay.
And so this is what I love to get up on the stage and speak about, is brain fitness and well-being. So, yeah, and about the books, yeah. So, NCDA, the National Career Development Association, chose me to attend their Leadership Academy.
Okay.
And I had such a wonderful cohort experience that they made me the current chair of that academy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so out of that experience, I started writing about leadership.
Okay.
And leadership is so huge. My gosh, it's such a huge topic. But this book, Activate Success, and there's a book and a workbook on Amazon. And it's cut up into 3 parts. The first part is self-leading.
Okay.
Self-introspection, because you don't even attempt to lead anybody else if you don't know yourself. And if you can't lead yourself properly, how can you lead anybody else?
Yep.
So there are 4 essential questions that I put right at the front of the book. Who am I? Where am I going? How do I get there? And how do I stay there? And so I give my story, and then in the workbook, you get to tell your story in the workbook and answer those 4 essential questions. The second part of the book is how do you get along with all these bosses, managers, leadership styles? So the next 10 chapters, I give you these leadership styles, what to do with them, how to get along with them, what if there's a conflict, what to
Wow.
do in those conflicts,
Yeah. Yeah.
because in my field, in my niche, what I've seen is people job hop. So they'll quit. Well, there are two things wrong with that right off the bat. First thing is they don't get the skills to in relationship building or how to get along with people that they don't care for or people that are different than they are. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is your resume looks like you're an ex-offender because you're just jumping from job to job to job to job to job. And, you don't want to do that. So I really think that this book is for not only professionals, but I think anybody who wants to succeed at work or life
I love it.
can gain something
I
from
love that.
it.
That's
So,
great. And I definitely want to mention that you are a military spouse.
yes.
So you're very proud of that, I know.
I am so I can't even tell you. We had a very unusual circumstance. We had 19 moves.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was a lot. And so I knew that I had to put my career on hold. I had to get my husband to where he wanted to go. Then the two girls, two beautiful girls, and they, got them to where they needed to be. And some people would say to me, we don't know. They were so doubtful. They were like, oh my gosh, how are these girls going to turn out? The elder one went through 11 school systems and the younger one
That's
went
amazing.
through 7 school systems. But we just made a game out of it. And, luckily they're doing great.
Good.
But the military has been so good to us. And my husband was a submarine commander in the submarine service.
Wow.
And he teaches at the Naval Academy now
That's
in
amazing.
Maryland.
That's so good. Well, it's so amazing that, and you went through that, and everybody's great. But now you're soaring with this and taking
That's
off, and I'm
right.
excited for you.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's my turn.
yeah.
It's
There
my
you go.
turn. And
Yeah.
I just really want to help this world. And, never mind the vocal cords. I'm just going to get up there on stage and
Yep.
just talk to the people that I love
Good.
and try to increase peace in humanity.
Yeah. Well, that's needed. That is definitely needed. And I think you're going to be a big success. So I want to encourage you to do that. And hearing your heart and what you can share is just awesome. So if people are watching this and they're like, I want to meet her, I want to learn from her, where do they do that? Where would you send them right now?
Yes. So my website would be a very good start.
That's a great
It's
start. Yeah.
drsujataives.com.
Okay.
And they can write to me from there.
Okay.
My email is on there.
Perfect.
And I'm on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So if they want to
You
message
check that
me,
and connect that way.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Wonderful.
So they can hire me. They can ask me questions.
Well, I'm sure they'll have many. This is you're such a rich background, and congrats on all your accomplishments. And I think there's more to come.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Well, thank you for being here today, and I'm glad you came to talk to us.
it. Thank you.
All right.